Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I messed up. No! You're seeing... I'm so sorry for being loud. I'm so sorry. Goodness gracious, what have I done here? Oh no, you're seeing behind the curtains. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, everybody. I wish you a happy Halloween. Or a happy... I forgot how you say it. Samhain? I wish you a very good day. I hope that you're doing good. Please feel free to let me know if there are any audio issues. I'm just going to make sure that my chat box is working okay, It is indeed. That's wonderful. Thank you, thank you. All right, so today I have gotten some really special triggers. We have a corn broom, which will be really exciting. And we also have several spooky stories, several creepy stories to read. And on top of that, we have a pumpkin. I got this pumpkin at a local farmer. I'm glad to hear audio's good. We've got, for the background music today, we have Witch's Vaults by Coffee Run. They have a wonderful free-to-use 2 tracks actually for streamers during the Halloween season, or if you just have like a spooky, like creepy, like horror motif, it would be wonderful for you, I'm sure. So let me move this pumpkin. I'm so sorry for that. Sorry. It is a little hard to move, it's pretty heavy. I just had to leave it where it was because it takes up quite a bit of space. Heavy, heavy pumpkin. It's really stormy outside. It feels like a perfect Halloween day. We could have had tea. I could still get tea during one of the breaks, I guess. I've turned on pre-roll ads for this stream because it is a ASMR stream after all. So we will start with some pumpkin scraping. I think it has such a satisfying noise. Get all of those seeds out. I was basically told, you can do whatever to the pumpkin. We're going to use it to make some pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. Do you guys? Are you much for pumpkin pie? Do you prefer apple cider? Do you like cinnamon? Do you like nutmeg? Or are you not really a person who enjoys the flavors of fall? I think that fall has some really wonderful tastes. I really love fall flavors, but I'll admit I'm a huge fan of Christmas, but I don't like peppermint, which is really sad. All right. So I'm gonna have pumpkin seeds all over my desk for like weeks after this. Oh, I'm glad you like pumpkin pie and cinnamon. Those are my 2 favorites too. I'm not actually very big on how to say, like, I'm thinking. I'm not big on like pumpkin spice lattes, but I do really like pumpkin pie. So one moment, I'm gonna just mute my mic and I'm gonna move it back a little bit so that you can hear the pumpkin and me. Alright, here we go. I don't like having a knife right next to my face. So, alright, here we go. grip on it. It takes surprising amounts of arm strength. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I don't like pumpkin spice either. The first time I tried it was from Starbucks a really long time ago. I wanted to try pumpkin spice again, so I got coffee creamer that has pumpkin spice. I still didn't really like it. I feel the same way. I've tried it a few different places, and I'm always kind of disappointed by it. I want to like it so badly. I really do, because the thing is, I love pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie. It's one of my favorite things. I like pumpkin bread. I like pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin anything, pretty much, except for pumpkin spice lattes. I think they're just not my personal taste. You want to like it, but you physically can't. I understand. I fully understand. So, yeah. I've had, I got so excited when I had the idea for the stream. I immediately ran to a farmer's market near me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can make pumpkin ASMR. I don't know how much you like it, but I thought it was really fun sounding when I did the audio testing. It's a lot of fun. Though, admittedly, I really like the sound of the scraping the best. I think that's really nice. But I thought the cutting was interesting. It was definitely, it's unique. And, oh my gosh, I bet you could do tapping on the pumpkin. I'm so glad that it's satisfying. I got so excited because I normally don't do anything for Halloween. And so when one of my regulars asked, what are you going to do for Halloween? It might have even been you. I think it might have been Luke. Whatever the case, I was like, I don't actually know what I'm thinking to do for Halloween because I normally don't do anything. It's not even like I don't like Halloween. It's just I turned 18, and then I didn't celebrate Halloween anymore. We don't really get trick-or-treaters where I live, so it's just a moment where it's like, oh, once you age out of trick-or-treating, there's just not much to do unless you go to parties, I guess. So let's go ahead, carve more pumpkin. This is actually a pie pumpkin, so it's perfect. It's so much fun. I'm just like, I'm not even really carving it. I'm just kind of doing whatever feels good. Yay! Oh, it's coming apart. Close didn't expect it to, like, it really fell. Now we get to scrape this part. This is so much fun. I feel like a little kid. I feel like a little kid who's just like getting to carve a pumpkin, and I've like got all my friends over. Oh, it takes a lot of arm strength. I'm not very strong, but that's fine. Wow. Carve that pumpkin. Yeah, I was like sad because I was like, oh, everybody's doing like fun Halloween streams and I don't know what I could do. But once I had this idea, I just had to do it right away. It's so fun. So I've got like, it's kind of funny. I've got like a rice scooper that I'm using to scoop seeds and stuff because I kind of am squeamish. I don't really like touching pumpkin guts. So I've got my handy rice scoop. It's very nice. There we go. So we've got 2 pieces of pumpkin that are all ready. And if I cut off another piece of this pumpkin, we probably could get in and really get all of the seeds out. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I'm really grateful for everybody. I've been having a lot of fun this month. I streamed like way more than I normally do, and I'm really happy that I was able to. I feel like it was a really wonderful month for my streaming. I feel like I grew a lot and I've really improved. So I'm really happy that I've been able to stream more. It's so much fun. I didn't expect it to be so much fun. Yeah, I was happy that I thought of this idea. I was like, wait, I could just get a pumpkin. I bet it could make some really nice noises. So the answer is yes. I think that the noises are really interesting. I did a little bit of a test to make sure that it made any sense. Because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I bought a pumpkin and then it sounds weird? That would be so sad. But, you know, the price we pay, right? At least it's a food item, so I could eat it. Yeah, it's so satisfying. It's really satisfying to get in and dig the... Okay, so this is really exciting. We've got the rest of the pumpkin. We've got I have a big pumpkin now. We've carved off some of the pumpkin, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start going into the guts. We're gonna start scraping out seeds, and I see why they call it guts, because I feel like I feel like, wow, that's... So let's go. You'll probably hear some of them fall. Oh. It's so interesting. I feel like a mad scientist. Yes. Oh, so fun. I think streams are so much fun when you do them, like, not just as a community thing. Of course you do them for your community, but also because you want to and love to do them. It makes it such a satisfying thing to do. Oh my gosh. Wow. Is it... I was like, I don't know how ASMR-y some of this is, but you know what? I think it's okay. I'm having a good time. Can you guys hear that? I love that noise. Oh, that's so satisfying. Yeah, I love that. I am like hugely into ASMR, so I really love like hearing unique noises that I've not heard before. It's one of my favorite things. Wow. Yeah. I saw a lot of people doing pumpkin carving on streams, but I've never done pumpkin carving before, so I was a little bit intimidated. So I didn't do that this year, but maybe we'll do that next year. Apparently, if you save the seeds and roast them, they're really good. I've never tried. I just learned that pumpkin seeds even help with anxiety and depression, plus a bunch of other good health benefits. That's really good to know. I have so many pumpkin seeds now. Oh my goodness. It's very fun though. I definitely feel like I'm like a kid like playing in the mud or something. You know how kids like make potions? I feel like I'm making a potion. Let me move my mic just a little bit. One moment. There we go. Sorry, I felt like I was so close to hitting it. I was like, I don't want to hit my mic. That is not very relaxing. Yeah, I've never had pumpkin seeds before either, actually. Oh my gosh, this is quite a arm workout. Dozy is going to get strong after this. Alright, so there that goes. I'm gonna put that aside for now. Let's see. I'm glad the sounds are good. I was definitely hoping that they'd be enjoyable. I am gonna go ahead. Let's see. I think we're gonna carve it into individual sections so that I can get the fiber out a little bit easier. I had to breathe. I was like, oh my gosh, I was holding my breath. Let's see. So it's good to carve away from you. Oh my gosh. Pumpkins can be pretty tough. I underestimated how fun it was to carve, honestly. But I'm glad that this is something I get to experience with my community because I really love getting to experience new things with you. I'm gonna try going from here instead. Oh my gosh, My poor little... My noodle arms are so tired. My noodle arms. There we go. We've got a new little chunk of pumpkin. New little chunk of pumpkin. All right. There we go. Wow. Yeah, get in there. There we go. Another part all cleaned up. Hi, happy Halloween, Scoopa. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful one. Happy Halloween. We're just carving a pumpkin and we are hollowing it out. We've gotten most of the seeds out, but we're trying to get some of the fiber out of the way. It's gonna be a pumpkin pie pumpkin. It is surprisingly hard to cut a pumpkin at a desk. You would not even imagine. Let's see. All right. All right. There we go. We're making good progress. All right. Here we go. It's a very difficult Halloween. You're in Valencia in Spain. There's a flood outside. I'm so sorry to hear that. I really hope that things only get easier for you and that hopefully this is a place you can relax a little bit. It's very difficult when there are natural disasters around you, I understand. We have a lot of tornadoes in my area sometimes, which can be a little spooky. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. I'm gonna go ahead. I forgot to turn off noises for alerts, so let me go and change that. That's my bad. My apologies, everybody. Hopefully it wasn't too spooky loud. I don't think it should be, but I'll just make sure that it doesn't cause any issues for anybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. There we go. I've updated that so there shouldn't be any... Oh, I forgot to... I'm a very professional streamer, so I only updated it for the following. Let me go ahead and update that for everything. I really appreciate it. I hope that nonetheless you guys are all having a pretty good day and that things only get easier for you. I've been having a pretty good day, I think, overall. I felt a little nervous this morning, but things definitely got easier, and it ended up okay. I accidentally took some of the I have medication I take, and I accidentally took it twice over, like double the dose I'm supposed to have. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did that. And I ended up really anxious, but everything ended up okay. So there was no need to worry. Just double checking, making sure that nothing is going to be loud for anybody. There we go. We're all good. Thank you, thank you. All right. Let me hold the pumpkin properly. Yeah, it's surprisingly, it's very interesting. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the table a little bit. Oh no! Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Definitely that one fell a little harder than expected. I was trying to catch it, but well, you only learn by doing, so it's okay. Sorry if I spooked anybody. I definitely was not trying to scare anyone. Alright, let's scrape some of the fiber out of this. Seems, there we go. Let me get something real quick. Oops, there we go. Goodness. Just grabbing. A little kitty hair managed to get on it somehow. So I got the kitty hair off of it. There we go. Getting that scraping. Definitely fun. I'm glad I thought of something to do that was within the spirit of the season. I was thinking, I just really want to do something for Halloween, and I wasn't sure what it could be. But here we had this idea all along that could have worked, and it did work. I'm so glad. I didn't do all too much exciting things today. Just kind of, I had my breakfast. I've been pretty busy lately, but lots of doctor's appointments, not for anything bad. Just regular routine checkups. There we go. All right. We're getting lots of these all ready for some yummy snacks later. Very yummy snacks. All right. Let me go ahead. I just have to move. There we go. Just have to pick up some pieces. There we go. Get those all cleaned up just a little bit. My workspace is very interesting right now. Very covered in pumpkin. Honestly, it's kind of funny more than anything. My hands too. My hands are so covered in pumpkin. I think that the tapping on the pumpkin sounds a little different now that it's been cut up. It's very interesting. Alright, so let's continue to cut up this pumpkin. Make some more progress. Let me try to do it. Let's see. Possibly this way. Sorry, there we go. My headphone cable is kind of short. Keeps getting in the way. There we go. Got a slice of pumpkin. Little slice of pumpkin. Very nice. Very nice. Slice of pumpkin. So tiny. This one's so tiny. There we go. Sorry for that noise there at the end. Very nice. Alright. Time to carve off a little bit more. This is a lot of fun. Definitely very hands-on. I've not always known what to do when I do ASMR. So this gives me something very constructive. Lots of fun. Ooh, crunchy noise. Ooh, very fun. I personally like crunchy noises. I'm glad that you think I'm doing well. I do my best. I always really enjoy doing ASMR. It's always a lot of fun, no matter what I do. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, it's a bit warm today. It's quite a warm October. Alright. There we go. A little bit. There we go. Alright. So, yep, just getting all the fiber off. Very nice. Nice and clean pumpkin. Alright, there we go. We put that to the side as usual. Here we go. We're almost done with the pumpkin. That's wonderful. It's been a lot of fun. Lots of fun. So let's see. Here's where the stem was. Ooh, it's slippery. Alright, let's see. Thank you so much. That's such an honor to hear. I'm very glad that you think I have a good voice for ASMR. I do my best. I really enjoy doing ASMR. I find it very, very relaxing. Alright. I really appreciate that. There we go. This is such a mess. It's kind of funny more than anything. I'm going to find pumpkin everywhere. I've had a lot of fun, so it'll be a good memory. Alright, let's continue to chop up the pumpkin. I think probably the best thing to do would be to take off where the stem was, and then we can continue from there. Alright, let's go ahead and get that off of the pumpkin. Oh, one of the little pumpkin seeds managed to get on. It said, I want to go back. Bring me back to the pumpkin. Alright, let's go this way. There we go. So we got the stem off. I don't know if you're able to cook the stem or not. I am not the one cooking the pumpkin. That will probably be my mom. I wonder what kind of yummy pumpkin goodies we'll make. What are your favorites? I really do love pumpkin cookies. I think I heard that pumpkin food is not very common outside of America. Like, if you don't live in the United States, that you don't generally eat pumpkin pie, pumpkin cookies, those kind of things. But I might be wrong. It might be more common than I think it is. But I believe I heard it was uncommon. I heard that people don't even really have apple pie and things like that, which is sad to think of. That's very tasty. But there are lots of tasty things all around the world that I don't eat either. We go. It's getting easier the more I do it. All right. really like the tapping noise. I think that it's lovely. You really enjoy candy corn, but you know a lot of people don't really like it. Yeah, I don't particularly like candy corn, but I don't dislike it. I'll definitely have it now and again, but not all too common for me. There we go. We're getting through the pumpkin pretty well. And then I have some corn broom, which is very interesting. I'd never seen it before. But it's so pretty. I showed it on my picture for stream, but I should definitely post that picture on its own as well. Oh gosh, there are a lot of dropped frames. I'm so sorry for that. It's likely we have a little bit of stormy weather near me. So if you're seeing some frames dropping, if things are lagging, that is at least partially on my end. So hopefully we can enjoy a lot of time together before stormy weather makes my internet make us say goodbye. I would hate that. I've really had a lot of fun already. It kind of reminds me of the noise. It kind of reminds me of when you hear like a little porcupine eating. When you hear a porcupine eat pumpkins, they're so cute when they eat pumpkin. They're so cute in general. I really love porcupines. I love most animals, to be honest. I love animals. They're so cute. I think it would be so hard to have to pick a favorite animal because I love animals. I really like, my apologies there. I really like horses. I really love cats. I really love little animals like hermit crabs and guinea pigs. I like all kinds of animals. There we go. Sorry if that was too loud. It's definitely something that I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a little hard to do quietly, but I want you to be able to enjoy it. So after we finish scraping out, I probably will want to wash my hands, and then we'll go on to the corn broom and the corn broom and the scary stories. They're nothing too scary, but they'll be a lot of fun. I think that this is a great way to spend Halloween, and I'm really glad I get to spend Halloween with you. You visit the zoo a lot. That's so great, Tagada. I love the zoo. I want to visit again soon. The zoo is actually, I think that the autumn, when you go in autumn to the zoo, it is one of the best times. It is so cool, and the animals are happy. the temperatures are so great and you don't get too hot when you're going for a walk. It's so nice. Aw, I'm so grateful. I'm really happy to be streaming and for everybody who stops by every stream, because it has been such an amazing thing to stream more often. I really missed streaming. It's something very special to me. It makes me happy. And if you don't mind, if you've not been here before, or even if you have, feel free to check out. I have a Discord server. It's down in my panels. I would be so happy to have more friends, more viewers, to all hang out together. We could do movie nights once we get enough people. But nonetheless, I will always keep it updated. It lets people know when I go live or if I have any delays. So definitely consider checking it out if that's something you're interested in. I know I get overwhelmed with Discord servers really easily, so I'll never be offended if you don't join. I just appreciate you being here more than anything, but I often forget to mention that I have a Discord, so I figured since it was on my mind I should bring it up. It would be so funny if I showed these pumpkins to my mom and she was like, what did you do to them? What did you do to these poor pumpkins? Because I've actually never, like I said, I think I've carved a pumpkin maybe one time in my whole life. I'm 25, so it's been quite a while. I might be doing everything wrong, but I think it sounds nice, so I think it's fine. But it would be funny if I was preparing them wrong for baking. Like, no, you're supposed to leave that. It's like, uh-oh, I'd be in trouble. Not really, it's fine if this isn't edible. We still have plenty of food. Alright. Wow. We're getting down to our last little bit of pumpkin. So once we have this, I'll take a quick break. And then we will go on to scary stories and the corn brew. I really appreciate everybody who's stopped by so far. I hope that you've had a nice, relaxing time. I've definitely had a lot of fun. I always love getting to stream. I know I've said that a few times, but it just never stops being true. Alright. So we've got the pumpkin all chopped up. It's all ready to go. I just have to wash my hands because they are covered, absolutely covered in pumpkin guts. Oh, hi! It's so good to see you, Zen Master. I was just about to take a really quick break. I have to wash my hands because they are covered in pumpkin guts. I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you for coming, and happy Halloween! Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful one, and I hope that this can help to make it even better. I'll be right back, okay? It'll be probably maximum 5 minutes. It shouldn't be too long. So please grab yourself some water, get some snacks, or just get comfortable, whatever is best for you. I'll be right back. Thank you. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Hi, everybody. Happy Halloween. I cleared off my space a little bit. I am going to smell pumpkin in my room for like the next, I don't even know how long, quite a while. So we're going to read a short story, The Raven, by obviously Edgar Allan Poe, but I think unfortunately we are going to have to tie up stream a little bit early, most likely, because after that, there won't be any rush, but the storm around me is getting pretty intense. I wouldn't want stream to cut off in the middle, so we will probably be starting to tie up stream now that we've gotten our pumpkin already. I do wish that we could stream a lot longer, but unfortunately the weather is not agreeing with me. So let me take a sip of water, and then we will go ahead and get on into the poem. Thank you so much for all of your support. It was so funny because I went to wash my hands and there was a pumpkin seed stuck to the front of my shirt. All right, water time. There we go. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken sad uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortals ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore," merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all of my soul within me burning, Soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. Open here I flung the shatter, when with many a flirt and flutter in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raving, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth thy raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by replies so aptly spoken, oh my goodness, hello, hello, Yumi Tasty, hello, it is so good to see you, welcome. Happy Halloween, everybody. We are reading The Raven by the one and only Edgar Allan Poe. We have been chopping up a pumpkin and hollowing it out. It was quite a lot of fun. And now we're on to some public domain horror stories. I am Dozy. You can use they, them pronouns for me. I am a multi-character YouTuber. I specialize in comfy, cozy, and relaxing content, so I hope that you have a great time here. Thank you. Oh, and let me give you a shout out. I almost forgot, which I can't believe. I am a little itty bit tired today, so you'll have to forgive me. How was your birthday stream? Oh, thank you so much. All right. I'll make sure to get a hydrate in. I really appreciate it. All right. I think the channel, okay, I did manage to somehow. Oh, I'm so glad that it was good. That's so wonderful. I saw the clip you shared. It was really funny. Oh my gosh, I almost typed in the wrong thing. I'm definitely a little bit scatterbrained. Sorry. It was a lot of work to carve out that pumpkin. Yes, please go and follow Yumi. Yumi is absolutely wonderful, does some really wonderful ASMR as well, and is just so funny. So funny. Today you did ASMR, Minecraft, Splatoon 3, and ended with Switch Sports. That is amazing. What a fantastic list of things to do. Yes, so today we've been scraping and cutting a pumpkin, which is all cut up. And I have actually not been able to share yet. I got broom corn, which makes this wonderful noise, but it is so big. It is just so interesting sounding, and also very pretty. It's got a really unique, I wasn't sure how much other people would like it, but I just love the sound. I'm gonna be covered in corn broom. I'm already covered in pumpkin everywhere. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I had recreated my Discord server, so I don't take any offense to folks who weren't in it. I had to update that. So one moment, let me put this back down. Oh no, goodness. I am so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. It just came tumbling out of my hand. I am very clumsy, so sometimes it can feel like a disaster to do an ASMR stream. But I am trying nonetheless. I will definitely edit that out of the YouTube VOD, though. I feel so bad. Alright, so let's get back to the story. Oh, and I still have to take a sippy. Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yumi. And welcome, Raiders. Happy Halloween. Let's start here. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope in melancholy burden bore, of never, never more. But the ravens still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tifted floor. Wretch, I cried, that God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite and nepenthe, from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign in parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting, get thee back into the tempest in the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit thy bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy farm off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him is streaming, throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. So that was The Raven. I've never actually read all of it before, so it was quite a fun read. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. All right, so now I have, I believe, let me double check. We have The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It is about 5 pages long, as far as I understand. It's an 1820 short story by American author Washington Irving in his collection of 34 essays and short stories. Oh, thank you so much, Dagna. I always have a lot of fun reading. It's one of my favorite things to do on these kind of ASMR-like streams. So here we go. Alright, so we're going to read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This was a recommendation I had, and I thought it sounded like a good one. Found amongst the papers of the late Diedrich Knickerbocker. What an interesting name. I'm going to make this just a little bit larger so I can actually read. I have a little bit of bad eyesight, so here we go. A pleasing land of drowsy head it was, of dreams that wave before the half-shut eye, and of gay castles in the clouds that pass, forever flushing round a summer sky, castle of indolence. In the bosom of one of those spacious coves which indent the eastern shore of the Hudson, at that broad expansion of the river denominated by the ancient Dutch navigators the Tappan Zee, and where they always prudently shortened sail and implored the protection of St. Nicholas when they crossed, there lies a small market town or rural port, which by some is called Greensburg, but which is more generally and properly known by the name of Tarrytown. This name was given, we are told, in former days by the good housewives of the adjacent country, from the inveterate propensity of their husbands to linger about the village tavern on market days. Be that as it may, I do not vouch for that fact, but merely advert to it for the sake of being precise and authentic. Not far from this village, perhaps about 2 miles, there is a little valley, or rather lap of land among high hills, which is one of the quietest places in the whole world. A small brook glides through it, with just murmur enough to lull one to repose, and the occasional whistle of a quail or tapping of a woodpecker is the only sound that ever breaks in upon the uniform tranquility. Did you love the pumpkin I put on Mari's Discord? I actually need to check that out. I am very excited to see that, so let me pop over there. I really love seeing what people do with pumpkins this time of year. So if anyone wants to share, they're free also to share them within my own Discord. I would be beyond happy. I have an in real life media channel, but Mari is a streamer who I really love her content, so I am more than happy to hop into her Discord and see what Zen Master has shared. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. So Zen Master made a pumpkin of Mari. That's so impressive. That is really amazing, Zen Master. You did a great job. I can't even imagine carving something that detailed into a pumpkin. I had a hard time, actually, just even being able to get the pumpkin I had cut apart. It was pretty hard. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't anticipate how hard it is to cut a pumpkin. Thank you so much, Yumi. I really, really appreciate the hydrate. I hope that you're nice and comfy. You make sure to take care of yourself, do whatever you need after stream, because I really care about you. I want you to be okay. Alright, let me get this hydrate. Pretty soon I might need to refill my water, but I guess it has been about an hour and a half. I'm so glad that you made Mari happy. I'm so glad that you'll be going to bed soon as well. Oh, it's almost 1 a.m. there. I forgot what a huge time difference we have. Yes, you absolutely get some sleep soon. That would be really good. It's around 7:40 here, but it's worth knowing. It was always nighttime somewhere in the world. I remember Yumi did a smasher pass, and one of my characters was included, and it was at 8 a.m. I was like, there is no way. There is just no way I'm gonna be able to get up at 8 a.m. I really wish I could have, but thankfully I was able to be able to look back and see the VOD. So I was really glad, because yeah, I absolutely was not able to make it to the stream itself, which was such a shame. But yeah, much too early. Oh, one moment. It seems like my closed captions aren't. Ah, what in the heck happened here? So strange. They got messed up somehow. Give me one moment. It's always weird when my closed captions get ruined. Should have gotten its own tier. That's such an honor. I get embarrassed easily, so I was like, oh my gosh. I just didn't even know what to say. I was like, I couldn't even reply. Let me see. So sorry. I didn't expect for my closed captions to get messed up somehow. I don't actually know how to fix them at the moment, so I apologize for that. Let me set up my, I have a secondary closed captions for when these don't work out. And my apologies, Yubi. Usually I do actually have a bot set up, but I don't at the moment, so I apologize. I need to get it reset up because it was having some issues. Let me see. Here we go. These will work. I apologize. Let me bring these up. There we go. Alright. And I love my streams. Like, somebody rated you. We have to stop working. Following since 2021. Oh my gosh. You have been here three out of 3 out of 4 years. That's pretty impressive because I had my 3-year debut anniversary this year, so you are one of the original fans for sure. I really appreciate you being around so long. Yeah, but also Zen Master, I think pretty much anybody on Earth, if you carved their character into a pumpkin, they'd be so beyond happy. That is such a thoughtful, like, it's just like fan art. It's a fan art. It's a way to do fan art. So I think anybody would really appreciate that. Oh, I'm just so happy. I am. Yumi, you're so wonderful. Thank you so much for the raid once again. Alright, let me get some water in me. I get so easily distracted. Sippy sip. Alright. There we go. Where was I? It is a small brook glides through it, with just murmur enough to lull one to repose, and the occasional whistle of a quail or tapping of a woodpecker is almost the only sound that ever breaks in upon the uniform tranquility. I recollect that when a stripling, my first exploit in squirrel shooting was in a grove of tall walnut trees. Sorry, pause for a moment. How dare you shoot squirrels? I love squirrels. I see the joke here is that for quite a few years I was a squirrel VTuber, and so you're not allowed. You're not allowed to hurt squirrels. How dare he hurt squirrels? Anyways, back to the story. I'm so sorry. I keep laughing. I recall that when a stripling, my first exploit in squirrel shooting was in a grove of tall walnut trees that shade one side of the valley. Squirrels are cute. Squirrels are so good. They are some of the best. I always get excited when I see them in person. Like, if I go to the zoo, unironically, if I see a squirrel, I get more excited than if I see, say, a giraffe. I'll be like, whoa, it's a squirrel. We have some walking around our house. I don't have any squirrels near my house. I went for a walk at a local, just a walking trail, and I got so excited because I saw like 4 or 5 squirrels, and I was like, this is basically the best day ever. I am amused by simple things. I think that ever since, even though I rebranded, ever since I was a squirrel VTuber, I see squirrels and I'm like, that's my family. That's my family. We have wild bunnies around our house as well. I used to have wild bunnies around my house when I was younger, and they are just so cute. They're so adorable. I really love them. I'm definitely just a huge fan of animals. So, well, I think that it's absolutely fine to hunt if that is your prerogative. I love animals. Oh my goodness, we're having a lot of dropped frames again. Apologies for that, everybody. That is on my end. Unfortunately, we're having some very difficult weather over here. I was really hoping that it would calm down a little bit, but it seems like it's being pretty difficult still. So it might be in and out. If it continues to be any more than it currently is, I'll see what we can do. Oh, the normal closed captions are back. There we go. Alright, back to the story as usual. I'm always more than happy to talk to people during ASMR streams. I think it's one of the best parts, is that I get to talk to everybody who comes by. And that said, I appreciate lurkers just as much as everybody else. Even if you never say hello, or even if you don't follow, I really appreciate you coming by, and lurking absolutely is the backbone to any good streamer. Here we go. I had wandered into it, he's referring to the valley, at noontime, when all nature is peculiarly quiet, and was startled by the roar of my own gun as it broke the Sabbath stillness around and was prolonged and reverberated by the angry echoes. If I should ever wish for a retreat whither I might steal the world from its distractions and dream quietly away the remnant of a troubled life, I know of none more promising than this little valley. From the listless repose of the place and the peculiar character of its inhabitants, who are descendants from the original Dutch settlers, the sequestered glen has long been known by the name of Sleepy Hollow, and its rustic lads are called the Sleepy Hollow Boys throughout all of the neighboring country. A drowsy, dreamy influence seems to hang over the land, and to pervade the very atmosphere. Some say that the place was bewitched by a high German doctor during the early days of the settlement. Others, that an old Indian chief, the prophet or wizard of his tribe, held his powwows there before the country was discovered by Master Hendrik Hudson. Certain it is, the place still continues to sway of some witching power that holds a spell over the minds of the good people, causing them to walk in a continual reverie. They are given to all kinds of marvelous beliefs, are subject to trances and visions, and frequently see strange sights and hear music and voices in the air. The whole neighborhood abounds with local tales, haunted spots, and twilight superstitions. Stars shoot and meteors glare, oftener across the valley than in any other part of the country, and the nightmare, with her whole ninefold, seems to make it the favorite scene of her gambols. The dominant spirit, however, that haunts this enchanted region, and seems to be commander-in-chief of all powers in the air, is the apparition of a figure on horseback without a head. It is said by some to be the ghost of a Hessian trooper whose head had been carried away by a cannonball in some nameless battle during the Revolutionary War, and who is ever and anon seen by the country folk hurrying along in the gloom of night, as if on the wings on the wind. His haunts are not confined to the valley, but extend at times to the adjacent roads, and especially to the vicinity of a church at no great distance. Indeed, certain of most authentic historians of those parts, who have been careful in collecting and collating the floating facts concerning the spectre, allege that the body of the trooper having been buried in the churchyard, the ghost rides forth to the scene of the battle in a nightly quest of his head, and that the rushing speed with which he sometimes passes the hollow, like a midnight blast, is owing to his own being belated and in a hurry to get back to the churchyard before daybreak. Such is the general purport of this legendary superstition, which has furnished materials for many a wild story in that region of shadows, and the spectre is known at all the country firesides by the name of the Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow. It is remarkable that the visionary propensity I have mentioned is not confined to the native inhabitants of the valley, but is unconsciously imbibed to everyone who resides there for a time. However wide awake they had been before they entered that sleepy region, they are sure, in a little time, to inhale the witching influence of the air and begin to grow imaginative, to dream dreams and see apparitions. I mention this peaceful spot with all possible laud, for it is in such little retired Dutch valleys, found here and then embosomed in the great state of New York, that population, manners, and customs remained fixed, while the great torrent of migration and improvement, which is making such incessant changes in other parts of this restless country, sweeps by them unobserved. They are like those little nooks of still water which border a rapid stream, where we may see the straw and bubble riding quietly at anchor or slowly revolving in their mimic harbor, undisturbed by the rush of the passing current. Though many years have elapsed since I trod the drowsy shades of Sleepy Hollow, yet I question whether I should not find the same trees and same families vegetating in its sheltered bosom. In this by-place of nature there abode, in a remote period of American history, that is to say, some 30 years since, a worthy wight of the name Ichabod Crane, who sojourned, or, as he expressed it, tarried, in Sleepy Hollow, for the purpose of instructing the children of the vicinity. He was a native of Connecticut, a state which supplies the Union with pioneers for the mind as well as for the forest, and sends forth yearly its legions of frontier woodmen and country schoolmasters. The cognomen of Crane was not inapplicable to his person. He was tall, but exceedingly lank, with narrow shoulders, long arms and legs, hands that dangled a mile out of his sleeves, feet that might have served for shovels, and his whole frame most loosely hung together. His head was small and flat at top, with huge ears, large green glassy eyes, and a long snipe nose, so that it looked like a weathercock perched upon his spindly neck to tell which way the wind blew. To see him striding along the profile of a hill on a windy day, with his clothes bagging and fluttering about him, one might have mistaken him for the genius of famine descending upon the earth, or some scarecrow eloped from a cornfield. His schoolhouse was a low building of one room, rudely constructed of logs. the windows partly glazed and partly patched with leaves of old copybooks. It was most ingeniously secured at vacant hours by a withe twisted in the handle of the door and stakes set against the window shutters, so that, though a thief might get in with perfect ease, he would find some embarrassment in getting out, an idea most probably borrowed by the architect Jost van Houten from the mystery of an eelpot. The schoolhouse stood in a rather lonely but pleasant situation, just at the foot of a woody hill, with a brook running close by, and a formidable birch tree growing at one end of it. From hence the low murmur of his pupils' voices, coming over their lessons, might be heard in a drowsy summer's day, like the hum of a beehive, interrupted now and then by the authoritative voice of the master, in the tone of menace or command, or, peradventure, by the appalling sound of the birch, as he urged some tardy loiterer along the flowery path of knowledge. Truth to say, he was a conscientious man, and ever bore in mind the golden maxim, spare the rod and spoil the child. Ichabod's Crane's scholars certainly were not spoiled. I would not have imagined, however, that he was one of those cruel potentates of the school who joy in the smart of their subjects. On the contrary, he administered justice with discrimination rather than severity, taking the burden off the backs of the weak and laying it on those of the strong. Your mere puny stripling that winced at the least flourish of the rod was passed on with indulgence, but the claims of justice were satisfied by inflicting a double portion on some little tough, wrong-headed, broad-skirted Dutch urchin, who sulked and swelled and grew dogged and sullen beneath the birch. All this he called doing his duty by their parents, and he never inflicted a chastisement without following it by the assurance, so consolatory to the smarting urchin, that he would remember it and thank him for it the longest day he had to live. When school hours were over, he was even the companion and playmate of the larger boys, and on holiday afternoons would convoy some of the smaller ones home, who happened to have pretty sisters or good housewives for mothers, noted for the comforts of the cupboard. Indeed, it behooved him to keep on good terms with his pupils. The revenue arising from his school was small, and would have been scarcely sufficient to furnish him with daily bread, for he was a huge feeder, and though lank, had the dilating powers of an anaconda. But to help out of his maintenance, he was, according to the country custom in those parts, boarded and lodged at the houses of the farmers whose children he instructed. With these he lived successively a week at a time, thus going rounds the neighborhood with all the worldly effects tied up in a cotton handkerchief. That all this might be too onerous on the purses of his rustic patrons, who were apt to consider the costs of schooling a grievous burden, and schoolmasters as mere drones, he had various ways of rendering himself both useful and agreeable. He assisted the farmers occasionally in lighter labors of their farms, helped to make hay, mended the fences, took horses to water, drove the cows from pasture, and cut wood for the winter fire. He laid aside, too, all the dominant dignity and absolute sway with which he lorded it in his little empire, the school, and became wonderfully gentle and ingratiating. he found favor in the eyes of the mothers by petting the children, particularly the youngest. And like the lion bold, with whilom so magnanimously the lamb did hold, he would sit with a child on one knee, and rock a cradle with his foot for whole hours together. In addition to his other vocations, he was the singing master of the neighborhood, and picked up many bright shillings by instructing the young folks in psalmody. It was a matter of no little vanity to him on Sundays to take his station in front of the church gallery with a band of chosen singers, where, in his own mind, he completely carried away the palm from the parson. Certain it is, his voice resounded far above all the rest of the congregation, and there are peculiar quavers still to be heard in that church, and which may even be heard half a mile off, quite to the opposite side of the mill pond, on a still Sunday morning, which are said to be legitimately descended from the nose of Ichabod Crane. Thus, by divers little makeshifts, in an ingenious way which is commonly denominated by hook and by crook, the worthy pedagogue got on tolerably enough, and was thought, by all who understood nothing of the labor of headwork, to have a wonderfully easy life of it. One moment, I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Thank you all so much for coming. It is definitely an interesting story. I'd be happy to hear what you think as well. I think it's a little bit cruel, but I suppose there's nothing else to expect from a Halloween tale. And it's also quite aged. It's from the 1800s, right? So it's going to have some concepts that maybe I don't agree with. I actually think that's very good. We need to have things that don't necessarily stand in the way that we like them. I think that's actually... It's very good to see history this way. I think that it's good to see history through books. Definitely going to need some more water soon. All right. Back we go. The schoolmaster is generally a man of some importance in the female circle of a rural neighborhood, being considered a kind of idle, gentleman-like personage of a vastly superior taste and accomplishments to the rough country swains, and indeed, inferior in learning only to the parson. His appearance, therefore, is apt to occasion some little stir at the tea-table of a farmhouse. In the addition of a supernumerary dish of cakes or sweetmeats, or peradventure the parade of a silver teapot. Our man of letters, therefore, was peculiarly happy in the smiles of all the country damsels. How he would figure among them in the churchyard between services on Sundays, gathering grapes for them from the wild vines that overran the surrounding trees, reciting for their amusement all the epitaphs on the tombstones, or sauntering, with a whole bevy of them, along the banks of the adjacent mill pond, while the more bashful country bumpkins hung sheepishly back, envying his superior elegance and address. From his One moment, I'm thinking itinerant? Okay, sorry, I've never seen that word before. Isn't that fun? From his half-itinerant life, also, he was a kind of traveling gazette, carrying a whole budget of local gossip from house to house, so that his appearance was always greeted with satisfaction. He was, moreover, esteemed by the women as a man of great erudition, erudition, for he had read several books quite thorough, and he was a perfect master of Cotton Mather's History of New England Witchcraft, in which, by the way, he most firmly and potently believed. He was, in fact, an odd mixture of small shrewdness and simple credulity. His appetite for the marvelous and his powers of digesting it were equally extraordinary, and both had been increased by his residence in this spellbound region. No tale was too gross or monstrous for his capacious swallow. It was often his delight, after his school was dismissed in the afternoon, to stretch himself on the rich bed of clover bordering the little brook that whimpered by his schoolhouse, and there con over old Mather's direful tales, until the gathering dusk of the evening made the printed page a mere mist before his eyes. Then, as he wended way by the swamp and stream and awful woodland, to the farmhouse where he happened to be quartered, every sound of nature at that witching hour fluttered his excited imagination. The moan of the whip-poor-will from the hillside, the boding cry of the tree-toad, that harbinger of storm, the dreary hoofing of the screech-owl, or the sudden rustling in the thicket of birds frightened from their roost. The fireflies, too, which sparkled most vividly in the darkest places, now and then startled him, as one of uncommon brightness would stream across his path, and if by chance a huge blockhead of a beetle came winging its blundering flight against him, the poor varlet was ready to give up the ghost, with the idea that he was struck with a witch's token. His only resource on such occasions, either to drown the thought or drive away evil spirits, was to sing psalm tunes, and the good people of Sleepy Hollow, as they sat by their doors of an evening, were often filled with awe at hearing his nasal melody, in linked sweetness long drawn out, floating from the distant hill or along the dusky road. And I think that is where we are going to pause for tonight. I would really appreciate if you stick by, because we're going to read out into somebody lovely and comfy. But I understand if you want to head off, that is perfectly fine. Please get yourself some good rest. I only ever raid people who I feel will be a good fit, and if there is nobody, then I will not send you off. I really appreciate everybody who has stopped by today. I really appreciate the raid and all of the raiders who stayed by. It has been a really wonderful stream, and I really, really appreciate it. I hope that you are having a great day today. Let me just give this a quick listen, and I'll be one moment. I just want to make sure that I'm sending you off to something that would make a good fit. Alright, I found somebody wonderful to raid. I just wanted to double check that it would be a good fit. I don't want you guys going in anywhere startled. I will say up front that this is not an ASMR stream. If you have any specific ASMR channels you'd like to recommend, I wouldn't be against it. But I also want to make sure that I'm raiding into somebody that I personally know, so I think this is the best fit. So I understand if you want to head off. I hope you have a really, really wonderful night, and I really appreciate all the time you spent with me today. I really hope you have had a wonderful Halloween and that you will have an absolutely fantastic November 1st. I will see you again soon. I always post my schedule on, you can find it both on Blue Sky, Twitter, or my Discord server. All of those can be found below. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much. We are going to raid the wonderful Raps Perhaps, who is playing a game called Vampire Survivors. They have a really comfy voice. They seem very chill and laid back, and their model is absolutely adorable. So I hope you have a wonderful time there if you decide to head over. And nonetheless, I wish you a wonderful, happy Halloween. Thank you so much for coming by. Bye bye. It has been so good to see you all. And thank you to anybody who watches the VOD as well. Bye bye. I hope to see you again soon.